Faf, you played a lot of games for South Africa. Have you ever seen a worse performance than today?
Probably harsh to say the worst performance ever, but frustrating. I feel keep making the same mistakes over and over again. Probably started off with the bowling. Our bowling has been one thing that's been working this tournament, and today a well below performance probably bar Imi was exceptional once again. But the rest of the guys, probably 5 out of 10 performance with the ball, 30 runs too many, and then the same thing with the bat once again. Guys, or starting our innings losing wicket again, and then we build something nicely, get a partnership going, and then wicket, and then build, and then wicket. So I feel like I'm saying the same things over and over again, and that's really, really frustrating. But for me at the moment, it's a confidence thing. The guys they're playing with low confidence and therefore making more mistakes.
Faf, are you disappointed with the performance of Lungi and Rabada? Lungi took 3 wickets today, but they've been expensive, especially with the new ball, they're not,
Yeah, I mean, the two of them the last year, they've been brilliant for us. And they have been striking. KG has been bowling quick right through the season. I do feel Lungi's fitness is perhaps the thing that is his biggest challenge. He hasn't played a lot of cricket. His pace is probably a little bit down from where he used to be. So that's taking the effectiveness of him away. I mean, he's had his control, but hasn't played a lot of games in this World Cup. Yeah, and I think his fitness is probably one big challenge that he would need to step up. And then KG. KG is trying, but I suppose the same thing with KG that a lot of the guys are struggling with at the moment is they haven't started the tournament well, and therefore your confidence has taken a bit of a hit, and it just rolls on. It's such a snowball effect that your performances, you open your eyes and you're doing the same thing again. So that will be something that KG will need to. He's a great bowler. He'll be able to fix that. His career has been one that's been probably just going up and up and up and up every time he's played for us. So this is probably his first stumbling block as a great fast bowler. So for him now it will be to how he responds, how he learns in this period, and how he makes sure he gets better. Because he has been great for us, but now he needs to take stock of where his bowling is and then try and get better as a bowler.
Faf, you speak about confidence and guys being low on confidence now. How do you go about fixing something like that? What did you try before this game or earlier in the tournament, and what hasn't worked?
Yeah, it's a difficult one. The real honest answer is it chips away at you. Trying very, very hard and then coming and playing another game, and then the same thing happens again, and you go back and you try and train hard again, and you make the same mistake again. It chips away at your confidence, it chips away at your ego, it chips away at you as a player. And as much as I can say or the coach can say, the responsibility lies with every player to try and make sure that he comes to the park and give everything. And if confidence is an issue, then you need to sort it out yourself. Everyone has played the game of cricket long enough to understand that you do go through highs and lows. The frustrating thing for us at the moment is we've got more people going through lows than highs right now, and therefore that's the team confidence is low. And from a batting point of view, there's a lot of guys low on runs. You need at least 3 out of your 5 guys firing in a tournament like this to be successful, and at the moment that's not happening. And as I said, from a bowling point of view as well, we've been lucky enough that our bowling unit has been strong for a long period of time and perhaps carried some of the batting units that we've had. But now the fact that on a day like today when they don't bowl well, then it makes it really tough for us to go and chase it down.
Obviously Kagiso and Lungi are very strong, but what impact did Dale's leaving have? Because, when he gets a wicket, he's so pumped up that he gets the rest of the bowling unit going.
Yeah, I mean, that's what Dale does, and KG to a degree as well. but I feel like I'm saying the same thing, but it's a confidence thing. When Dale is bowling well and he's pumped up, it's because he's at the top of his game. KG at the moment is feeling like he needs to do something, but it's not happening for him, and therefore you're not seeing that same intensity when he bowls, or not bowls, when he celebrates a wicket, or when he's going through after the over back to his mark. But obviously Dale is a special bowler, and the fact that he's injured, we can't use that as an excuse. There's enough good bowlers in our team to still be better than what we did today. There was a lot of bad balls bowled on a wicket that if you just bowled really good lines and lengths, it was tough for the batters to score.
Faf, going forward, quite a few matches left for you in the tournament. So what will be South Africa's approach in the remainder of the tournament? And as a captain, how will you motivate the team for this?
Yeah, it's tough, huh? That's where it's lying at the moment. I've tried certainly my best to try and make sure that we can get stronger, trying to get better. And I thought before today, even though we are losing, I did feel that there was a upwards curve in the cricket that we were playing. We started doing more things right since the Afghanistan game. New Zealand game, we played a good game of cricket. One or two things perhaps you could have done a little bit better. But today, then taking a step back, 2 steps forward, 1 step back, that's not a great team. For me, we're sitting at that mediocre team at the moment because we're making the same mistakes all the time. So, yeah, I'll go back and do exactly the same as we did last week, trying to make sure that you have to keep trying. Unfortunately, you can't go away. Otherwise, because there is naturally in your team, you'll always have guys, when they're low in confidence, they'll get quiet and they will go away and into the backgrounds a little bit. But yeah, for me as a captain, that's not something I can do.
Faf, is this turning out to be the lowest point of your career as national captain?
Yes, definitely. I'm a very proud player and captain, and playing for South Africa means a lot for me. And the fact that the results that we're dishing out at the moment, it's really, really tough. And borderline of today wasn't, it's becoming where it's a little bit embarrassing. We're trying, but it's just not good enough. And it's obviously I'm human as well, so it will keep chipping at me as well. Sorry about that. But I don't have an opportunity to go anywhere. It's important, as I said, it's important that the coach, myself, the senior players are the guys that needs to front up to this challenge. That's when your players need you the most. So right now, I need to be there for the other players as well.
My name is Haider from Voice of Germany. This is a bitter moment for the South African cricket because South Africa was always in first 4-5 teams in all international tournaments. So we cannot understand why the players, when they play the league cricket in any part of the world, they play a vital role for the winning, and they are all playing very good. But when they play for the South African team, then they are not showing their actual performance. What is the reason behind?
Well, I think through the season they do that. We've had some great performances in the season. But naturally, as I said, what's happening at the moment is we started the tournament probably average poorly. And the spin-off of that has been that the guys, the knock-on effect of that is the guys are now, there's a lot of pressure on this team to do well. And the fact that every game you play, there's more pressure on you now because, there's a lot of people rightly and fairly criticizing this team because we're not playing the cricket that we should. And therefore, it makes it even more pressure on the players. And the fact that that a lot of the group is low in confidence means that we aren't producing the results that we need. So I don't think it's necessarily a case of people playing in different leagues and doing well. I think it's just a case of the nature of this tournament specifically. You need to start well, you need your players in form, you need a few guys on a purple patch. And if you do have that, then hopefully from there you start playing some good cricket. If you look at all the other teams that's doing well, they've got guys in their team that's consistently doing that. And we haven't had, apart from Imi, we haven't had a purple patch guy in our team that just comes in every game and dishes out good performances. So as a whole, as a team, yeah, we've got a lot of guys very low in confidence at the moment.
Faf, I just wanted to go back to KG for a second. Are you happy with the way he's been managed from a workload perspective over the last 3-4 years? He's obviously bowled a hell of a lot of balls over the last 4 years. You happy that he was in optimum condition when he came to this tournament?
I don't think we'll ever have a perfect answer for that, because he's probably bowling too much. But we did try and get him not to go to the IPL, to try and stay and get fresh. That wasn't the case of, and then when he went there, we were like, let's try and get him back halfway through the IPL, because it's important, not just for him, but a few other players. I mean, I spoke about it before the IPL even started, that it's important that we try and find space to rest our 3 format players, because they play all the formats all the time and then IPL. So I don't think it's necessarily just the IPL, but it was important for a few guys to rest. And the fact that they didn't meant that they came into the tournament not fresh. That's not an excuse, that's just a fact. And KG is, you can see his pace is probably a little bit down for me where he normally is. But that challenge we're going to have as a team all the time. You can't, unfortunately, go back with the national side and say to KG, listen, you're going to rest for the next 2 series. He's such a big player for the team. It's a difficult thing to do. You need guys that can. You need 3 or 4 or 5 bowlers in the wings waiting, so you can have a bit of a rotation system. And I mean that was the plan with Anrich in the backup in the pipeline, but then he got injured as well. So therefore, all our pace is gone. And then there's so much responsibility on KG to carry that load of being the lone fast bowler.
Faf, you mentioned the batsmen being low in confidence and also the bowlers not performing up to expectations. In the last couple of years back home, you guys have been playing on pitches that have really assisted the bowlers a lot and have been very tough for guys to bat on. Do you feel maybe that's played a role here, in that the bowlers have arrived and maybe have had it too easy back home, and maybe the batsmen have had their confidence sort of irreparably damaged by how tough it's been back at home?
I think if this was a test championship, I would have said yes to that, but the fact that we've been playing on good wickets in one-day cricket at home doesn't change that. The one-day wickets at home is really good. The guys at home play on good pitches, they score runs back at home, probably bar 1 or 2 players that carry a bit of low form into the tournament. I think as a if you look at Quinton, myself, Rassi over the last 2 years, there's been consistency with us with our one-day game, and we're scoring big runs. But the fact that if you look at some of the other guys, there's probably a little bit of inexperience and a little bit of low in form. But as I said, one-day wickets, wherever you play in the world, are pretty similar. Sometimes there's a little bit of a new ball, but then it generally gets good. So, yeah, I don't think so.
Faf, you've received praise in the way that you've captained the side and obviously the way you've gone about your business. Are you worried that this World Cup perhaps taints your legacy and the legacy of Hashim and JP and David and some senior players? Is that something that you're worried about at all?
Yeah, I'll be lying if I say no. I think, as I said, as a player, I'm very proud, but I've always said that my most enjoyment that I get from the game playing for South Africa is captaining the side. And the fact that we are really underperforming, as I said, chips away at me as well. It's really important for me. I love captaining this team, and the fact that we're playing way, way below our potential is not something, as I said, it's not something that sits with me well. There's too much pride for me. And that's why, I'm trying as much as I can, but unfortunately not everything is in my hands. If I could, I would get my wand out and get some runs on the table for our batters, but I can't, unfortunately. So it is a challenge, and my character is one that will try and fix as many problems as I can and try and control the areas that I can, but unfortunately I can't control anything. So yeah, I have to make sure that I put my head on my pillow at night, knowing that I've done everything in the build-up to that match, and then just trust the players to perform.